Hey, it's Matt with Midwest Guns and Gear, and I was down in the vault over the weekend and grabbed a couple to bring up that don't come out of the vault too often, but are definitely fun ones and ones you might find interesting. It's a beautiful day out here today, a crisp fall day, which means pretty soon these Hawaiian shirts are going to give way to flannel shirts, and the pool you hear in the background is going to stop running, and maybe we'll have a hot tub doing it. But we're going to talk about an iconic firearm, sort of, but a very interesting one. Now, right here, got an Auto-Ordnance Thompson Tommy gun. Everyone knows these guns. You know, the gangster gun, also the M1 variant. You see them in all the war movies. Even though there weren't a lot of these really used in World War II, it seems like, they're cool. So every World War II movie, somebody's carrying one of the Thompson M1s. Occasionally even see some of these. I think I saw one of these in the Pearl Harbor movie. And this is one, we'll do a video on it in the future. I do have one planned. But we are going to talk about it just a little bit, just in comparison. But today, we're going to talk about this. This is the Volunteer Arms Commando Mark III. I had to look to see which variant that this was. They made a couple different models. They made the one with the foregrip, and they made the M1 model as well. And these have a interesting history. There's not a whole lot really out there about it when I was trying to do a little research, but I did find a little, and it was, like I said, very interesting. So back in the 60s and the 70s, you couldn't buy a semi-automatic Thompson. They just didn't make them. They were only full auto, and to get a full auto was, even back then, was not necessarily easy because of the ATF and gun control. And a lot of people wanted these, so all of a sudden these started popping up in magazines, Shotgun News maybe. I don't know if Shotgun News was around back then. But you'd see these, and they had like a really ridiculous price on them, like $99 or something like that. Don't quote me. I'm old, but I'm not that old. But I do remember seeing these when I was younger in some magazines, like later on. And this was, the ads made them look like they were an actual Thompson. As you can tell, they sort of look like a Thompson. They're a little bit different. They've got a metal lower, like a cast lower, and from research that I've been seeing, the early ones, and I don't know if later ones were too, but those Thompson BB guns that you would see at carnivals, they basically took the lowers from those and changed them around for the lower receiver on this. Now the upper is standard metal. I mean, it's steel. It's pretty strong. The lower's pretty cheap metal. The original ones of these had a really ugly wood grip on it, and those took grease gun mags because they were cheaper. Later models, such as this one, would take the Thompson magazines. They were 45 ACP. You could also get them in a 9mm. The front handguard is plastic. The ones that were like the model, what is it, the Model 27 Thompson that had the grip like what I've got here, those were plastic as well. But the buttstock is regular wood. I think it's actually a Thompson stock that they used, which, is kind of strange. The first models, the older ones, were a open bolt, but were later changed to a closed bolt. Another interesting thing with these, when they first were starting to produce them and getting ready to sell them, the ATF went and stopped them because they thought it looked too much like a Thompson submachine gun, and they would not allow anybody to produce a rifle that looked like a Thompson submachine gun, because I guess You know, back in the late 60s, even then maybe they were scared of the scary looking guns, but they I don't know if it was, I remember reading, I don't know if it was Volunteer Arms or if it was Auto-Ordnance that had the Thompsons, but they basically got lawyers and fought back against the ATF because around the time these came out, Auto-Ordnance was getting ready to start putting a semi-auto on the market too, and ATF, nobody had ever told them no before, so it was like the first time that they had ever been told no. And yeah, they got lawyers and they won, and so these started coming out. Now, like I said, these are a little bit different side by side. This isn't the exact same model, but pretty close, and I'll kind of show you or talk about some of the difference. One is the trigger. As you can see, you just have kind of a big hunk of metal here where you've got an actual trigger on the Thompson. The mag release, the safeties on the Thompson, or on the Auto-Ordnance Thompson. Your safety is here. You got your mag release here. And this is incredibly heavy, not something you want to lug around for any length of time. These things, I don't know what the actual weight is, but these things are extremely heavy. Where this one, your mag release is just a button right here. Safety is just a little push button. Cocking hammer is on the side. And these things weigh almost nothing. I guess having the cast lower and all, the weight on this is very light. You definitely tell, you know, these are different. The only thing really these have in common is they look alike, sort of. I mean, other than that, the internals are a little different from, you know, research that I've looked at. But these were really cheap, and, you know, anybody could basically have a Thompson if they wanted a Thompson, or something that sort of looked like a Thompson. But they're fun to shoot. They're fairly accurate as well. This one is 45 ACP, and your pistol calibers in a rifle, if you've ever shot one, they're pretty pleasant because there's no recoil, they're not loud. Ones like these, I've got a high point 9mm and a couple of 9mm rifles, and some 357 and 44 mags. And the thing about those is, like my daughter, some of our younger shooters that we start training, and some other women that, you know, are a little leery about getting into firearms because they think they're scary and they don't want the kick or the loud noise. They love shooting these because they're quiet, they're accurate, you got some power to them, but they're no recoil at all. And that's the beauty of a lot of your pistol caliber carbines. So that's a little look, a little history about the Volunteer Arms Commando Mark III. The other thing on this is looking up prices on these recently. Now, I'm not going to give prices because then YouTube will pull this video down, but what I'm seeing on these compared to what I'm seeing on the Auto-Ordnances, just looking on websites, auction sites, these now are bringing enough of a price that they really don't make much sense compared to getting an actual Thompson. When I got this, both of these I got incredibly cheap just because I happened to be at the right pawn shop at the right time, and before the internet where everyone was selling firearms and knowing what they could get out of them. They would basically get something in that was worth some money and sell it cheap just because they didn't want to sit on it for a year or two. And that was both of these. That's kind of how I ended up with them. It was something I wanted. Price was cheap enough. Also, my Luger, my broom handle, A couple other nice firearms that I picked up over the years. I was lucky enough to get in pre-internet days. So that's a look at the Volunteer Arms Commando Mark III. We're going to head down to the range. We're going to load up the magazine, have a little fun with it. We'll also take this one down and while I got it out, have some fun with it as well. So come join us. Made it down to the range. I've got the Volunteer Enterprises Commando with me, and I've got 10 rounds in it. So we're going to pop off a couple of rounds. See how it does. All right, we made it down to the range. Got the Volunteer Arms Commando Thompson copy. Let's light her up. All right, so that was 10 rounds through it. 9 of them made it. The last one did catch up. It didn't extract right. But all in all, pretty fun gun to shoot. Now let me set this down. Now let's get the big heavy boy. This is the real Thompson. Now this was one made for drum magazines, but I don't know if you ever priced out drum magazines, but they're not cheap. I got the gun without the magazine, and stick mags are cheap. You just have to get in there with a Dremel a little bit with them to make them fit. But that's 10 rounds with the Thompson. Now the difference between the two of them, well, one of the differences, this does hold open after the last round, where the Volunteer Enterprises did not. But this is also a little nicer made firearm as well. But just wanted to show you the difference. It's Matt with Midwest Guns and Gear. If you got one of these, if you shot them in the past, if you remember seeing them, tell me about it. Tell me what you've shot them, tell me what you thought about it. Was it junk? Was it fun? Was that one of those, you know, I was 16 or 15 when I got to shoot it, and it was just like being in Kelly's Heroes or one of the old war movies, or was it just a complete piece of junk? Tell me about it. Love to hear it in the comments. Till next time, have a great day.